the crude. We're in September, and you can see that July is in, right? So we rolled it right in here somewhere. We are short, got stopped out here. Again, with our 3-bar method, right? Here's your 3 bars, and we got stopped out finally here, or in, right? We were long, double out, went short. So now the last time we got short down in here was the low. So, I got to assume that's a possibility. It looks pretty ugly chopper-wise. Well, since we rolled it, I didn't go to August. I stayed in Sep because I hate rolling it every freaking month. Another one you don't want to get caught deliveries on. You can see though we're coming into some type of Gann support. It's a 1-to-1. So, and if you had to stretch it far as it could go this next week, or actually this week, again it ends Friday. But if you're looking to pick something, pick a bottom 73.96. It has to hit that line on my chart. Now it could go to 7. It could go all the way down to 73.12 or 13, excuse me, and still hit that line and not break it, right? So do your homework, find the number, and you could also buy it here and then maybe risk down here too somewhere. Here's the nat gas. Did push our stops down. Got a little profit zone in here. Again, not the time of the year to go long in any heavy level. Here is the E-Mini S&P. Again, we did go short, which didn't really care for, but our stops over the highs, so not a low risk trade. The solar eclipse, if you're looking to buy a big ass dip, you'll see one of those weird anomalies that occur in the S&P, which we all have seen. But that old solar eclipse is 69. We'll call it 31. That'd be a great area, and you might want to put on a daily chart to see where that's at basis, because that was June. Might want to find out what the SEP is on that solar eclipse date of February 17th, and if I remember, I'll look. But anyway, that would be, again, you always get those weird anomalies, right? Something happens, boom, it goes down, and fear, panic, and that's it. Here's the euro. Again, slop, but tradable, right? No big heavy risk. You can see the rhythmic from low to low. I think, again, it makes sense that we're looking out here in the future a little bit. This was 90 degrees over. Again, this is Euro FX, not the euro dollar like the old euro dollar. The TED spread. Anyway, this is the gold. It did make a new low, which we talked about. Our stops did get moved down. It had a pretty firm close, but it still closed lower. So it's not out of the woods yet. If you did pick this bottom, I would assume you try to take profits up here where I'm going to get stopped out. Makes sense a little bit into the cardinal cross area here. Or if you're really more bullish than that, really you could get up to here maybe. Or on a big punch, get up to the solar eclipse close basis December, which is 50.44. Now again, you could go to the daily chart and get the actual number if you're trying to be precise. Let's go to the silver. Silver did not make a new low, just kind of caught in a quagmire. Now again, this is July, rolled the D swings up here. It did get, the stop did get pulled down, still at a loss. Pretty sloppy margins. I don't know what they are. I'm assuming they're still pretty high. Solar, if you're wanting to sell, solar eclipse is around that 75.84-ish. Call it maybe 75.80, rounding down a bit. And maybe again, look at the actual D silver chart to get the D number instead of the July. Anyway, that's kind of the area, right? Or maybe sell it where I get stopped out. Makes a little sense too, on some type of quagmire rally. Here's the downtrend line, which is a 1x1, right? And the cardinal cross. So not a bad area to pick around to at selling it. If you did buy this low, not a bad area up there around 84.75-ish. Well, let's go in the middle around 83.55 or something. Here's the cattle. Just kind of an outside event last moon period, an inside event. We had 3 closes at the same level. Now we closed higher, but it did not make a higher high. So the stop did get moved down at a more manageable level. The solar eclipse closes right in here. So kind of right on it, right? So pretty tough to just blatantly buy the cattle here. You might as well buy it where I get stopped in, out and in, right, on a double out stop. Now, last but not least is Bitcoin. Then we'll go to we did have a double bottom, and we did close higher for this moon period. So the stops got moved down a smidge. We're still at a loss. This is where we sold it. The stops are right here, right? So this big, call it again like I did here. This is the money bar. This is the money bar here. Just and you can see what we did. You can go back and look here. Here's kind of the money bars. We'll cheat a little bit. Just slowly traded within them, and then poof. Here's the money bar here. Kind of, actually, these two are kind of the money bars, and then it traded within it, and then poof. So again, that's the tendency. If this is a low, we'll probably go up here, and probably where near my stop is, or maybe where I get stopped out next week, if I get stopped out, and then poosh. Again, that's kind of the tendency, right? So again, until the low is confirmed, we don't know anything. We're down 50% down to these levels, right? So pretty ugly stick. We'll look at the dailies to confirm. We are the 90-degree over from the low was the high, and 225 was the other high. So again, the Gann zones on your Gann wheels are being pretty active. Oh yeah, I did right. I did calculate this swing, right? If we do this exact same swing but double it, which is the tendency, if this is a low, right, and this is the pivot, um, this was 22 bars by 13 bars, right? 22 up by 13 over. Now you double that would be the target mathematically, which happens to be the lunar eclipse. And again, that'd be 44 bars by 28, right? Doubling this, keeping the same speed, right? If you draw a line from that low, it'll match up to here, right? So that'll be your red dot at the barrel of the gun. That'll be your first target. If it's a really whipsaw action, that's also the lunar eclipse. I like that target. I don't know how you trade out of the money options on Bitcoin. I used Coinbase when I was doing the stock matrix last year, and it worked okay. It wasn't exact, but I think you got to go hunting a little bit for something, and it makes sense, right? We had a solar eclipse low pretty much, and the again 90-degree zone, my 66 matrix zone was a high, and now potentially lunar eclipse. I would fade it into the solar, right? But that target does make sense up here quite a bit, actually. I haven't done a whole lot of homework on that. It's just something simple, but it matches up. All right, I'm going to put you on pause here while I load up the bar charts. This is the crude on the spot, kind of still in the money swing. Let's go to the December now, which is the one we're trading, which has a little different look. Broke the uptrend line, broke a swing with a gap. Uncovered close though, a couple of them. Again, crude, pretty notorious to see this crude get down back into the 60s. A little different than some other commodities. You get up too high for too long, and you get some abandoned wells kicked on, and people start producing a lot of crude pretty quickly. Because it makes financial sense to do it at these price levels. Now you almost got to look at the Kansas cash and Oklahoma cash, crude, sweet, to see what the levels are actually at. Here is the nat gas, kind of a nice little pivot here. If it breaks or not, don't matter. Here's the S&P, again, had a little drop down. Again, to have a correction, it has to break shit. This had a trend line up here, and guess what? It broke it. So, we had a swing down, not very much, but it's all we had was a 2-bar swing down, and it broke it, right? So that's a true correction when you break stuff, and it is the first correction we've had since the actual low. So this is leg 1, leg 2. Wow, pretty impressive in my opinion. So be a little cautious. Just be willy-nilly short here. Use puts, pretty cheap, I'm assuming. Here's the euro, not much to say. Here's the gold, again, another new low. You can kind of see the rhythm here. Let's just run it down. Whoops, didn't get it right. That was 37 bars on a daily. 36. All right, let's run it out. Oh, that ain't what I wanted. Oh well, let me just run it from this low. Kind of 36 bars. 37, 38 from this high, right? So again, obviously I could see it just by looking at it. Of course, trading for so long, you kind of see shit. Don't even need to have a AI to tell you, right? But this break, correction, this break, correction. So it's logical that if we're still caught in the quagmire, we'll have a 19-day back rally. And if it's exact, which it won't be, we kind of go back up to here around 49. And you got to be a little careful, right? This is the solar eclipse. I think you're going to be, definitely some stops are going to get rung there if we do have that motion. There's a downtrend line here, right, too. So I don't know. I guess I'm bearish, gold and silver both, actually. Here's the silver, just a chopper. Margins now, back in here I said margins are way too cheap. 66 grand were not enough. Then they slid back to 44,000. I don't know what they're at now, but probably too high in this environmental trading. But you never know when all of a sudden you get one of these days. Here is the cattle. Again, making new contract highs about every quarter. So pretty tough to be short there unless you're hedging, then you should be short. Here's the Bitcoin. That's the August chart that I'm trading. Here's the actual nearby, which will make a little more sense. And you can see this little bounce up here. We had a pretty good bounce, but it's kind of in the zone, right? We did make a trap, so I talked about that. I wouldn't mind buying that. Makes sense a little bit to me, but it needs to get going. I don't know. This open close never did cover, so I'm just kind of caught in a quagmire. But people that are cost averaging down, all these 50% level, this is 52, but 50% level made sense. This new low makes sense if you're cost averaging. And if you never get out, right now, I don't trade that way. I'm waiting for a bigger plunder. This first zone high was July 14th. So I think that'll be an annular that I'm waiting for. That's the first out of the three, right? The final finale was made October 6th, which is a great area from the stock market history. So, all right, I'm going to sign off. Again, I hope everyone has a great week. Be a little cautious here. We're on that bear market pop. Now, again, as a contrarian, you definitely want to maybe do the opposite a little bit, I think, because I haven't seen where all the commodities were short that much forever. I can't remember. Usually the S&P is long or something's long, right? So everything was short. So now in the stock market, you can have faders, where people get out of the high quality stocks and buy Coke and uh, utilities, right? There's safe play. So all right, I'm going to sign off. I'll sign off, and I'll everybody have a great rest of your trading week.